Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Call This or Whatever. I'm your host, Rochak Basnet. Welcome back after a spring break. It was a long week. I think we had a pretty good spring break. Hopefully, everyone got their rest. I was out of town, had a great time. It was my birthday week too, so I had a great fun. It was we still did an episode, but it was pre-recorded. I hope you guys have listened. If you're not, go. It's out there on a streaming platform. But yeah, we are back. The campus is running. I was walking through the campus today after a long time. I don't have to walk to the campus because I don't have much classes. A lot of my classes are online, or I just work from home. So after a long time, I was walking to the campus. The vibe was amazing. I just went to an event right now. It was amazing. But without any further delay, let's welcome today's guest. She is newly appointed Vice President for Student Body over here at Southern Miss. Welcome to the show, Taylor.
Hi, I'm very excited to be here.
How are you?
I'm great. I had a very relaxing spring break.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope everybody does, because students need that.
Yes, absolutely. College students, they go through a lot. A lot of people don't think that oh, you're just in classes, you're just in school. But a lot of students, they work and they also attend full-time classes. So the rest was definitely needed.
Definitely. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I know you are more than just the vice president. So.
My name is Taylor Ladavon. I am a forensic science major with an emphasis in criminal justice. I was before being appointed vice president, I was a senator for the Student Government Association.
Perfect. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, like you said, you were Senate before the vice president. Mm-hmm. So, how was that? How was the experience?
I think that was a very good introduction for me getting into student government. Coming in as a freshman, I had no idea what Student Government Association was. So, becoming a senator really gave me insight as to what SGA can do for the students and how you can help them and make a change. So
yeah, great. Thank you for all your work, to be honest.
Thank you.
So people who don't know, what does the Senate do?
So the Senate is students from different colleges. So for example, I'm a forensic science major, so I would represent the College of Arts and Sciences. They all come together and are basically a voice for the students, much how the actual U.S. Senate is. We write legislations that help better the future of the campus and all student life. And we debate, vote, basically everything. We take into account a lot of the student life and everything that we do for them.
It's perfect. So now you're vice president. First, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Because I definitely saw your poster across the campus. I think you did a pretty good campaign.
Thank you.
So how does it feel when you got the result from SGA? How did that feel, the moment?
Oh, it was really nerve-wracking, but really exhilarating moment. We were all sitting in the SGA office. You could either watch on the live stream, but I feel like being there in the moment was really helpful. But I knew it was going to be a very close race. My competitor, Zypha, he ran a really great campaign, and it honestly could have gone either way. So knowing that I was able to represent the people, it's truly such an honor, and I'm glad that if anybody was going to be my opponent, it was him.
Yeah, both of them, solid. I saw both of your guys' campaign. It was amazing. It's amazing how students are using their social media as a marketing tool is amazing, because I think 90% of our students are active on Instagram.
Absolutely,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it has been a great platform to do that. And what's your plan now as a vice president?
So my biggest thing when it came to this was the safety of the student body was a big concern. I heard it a lot when I was a senator. A lot of students were crossing the road can be a lot, kind of dangerous sometimes. And that's not something that you should have to worry about, especially when you're coming to a place that is new. So that was my big point. And the vice president is in charge of the Senate. And so something that I want to do there, being both a senator and now I guess I'm on the other side of it, I really want to encourage more debates and more collaboration with the Senate. A lot of the senators have a lot of great ideas, and a lot of them have the same ideas, and they'll often write legislations that are the same. But if they work together, they can come up with even better ideas. True. So that's something I want to do, is really encourage that collaboration between senators.
That's amazing. So what would be your next process like what's the first thing you want to do?
Oh, the first thing. Well, next week will be my first Senate meeting where I will be in charge. So really, it's just about getting to know the senators that were voted in by the students, and then putting out applications for other positions within SGA and going through seeing who else would want to be involved, how they can be involved. So a lot of that is like an interview process. So that's what we have planned out for the rest of the semester, and then the real work begins when we come back in the fall.
That's amazing. Sorry for a little technical difficulty there.
Okay.
What is something like a biggest complaint you have heard from a student as a Senate, and how you want to like address as a vice president, as a president of Senate?
There's a lot that students will complain about on campus. Obviously, the biggest one was campus safety and how we can increase that. So that's the biggest thing I want to tackle. But a lot of the time, it's just about, some students feel like they can't find a community. And so something else I want to encourage is collaborating with other student organizations. One, so that way they can know what SGA can do for them, and also just being able to get them out there, letting students know what we have for them. I'm part of the Vietnamese Student Association, and not a lot of people know what that is, and I want to be able to get our names out there so that way people can find a community and help connect with other students here.
Yeah, that's amazing because there's so many organizations in Southern Miss, and like even if there is like if you don't find the one you want, you can create your own. Like that's the flexibility we have over here. Like I'm involved in multiple organizations, and I'm trying to create my own too, hopefully someday. But just get involved. Like it helps you a lot. Like since coming from the myself, I'm an international student, so. Coming from other country and directly getting involved with Nepalese student organization, that was like my first ever organization. Like they made me home, and then I started exploring more organization. Like I went to like student media. Right now I'm in the nations. Like I go to different like countries, organization event. Like today we went to like SMAC. Like you were representing your organization, I was representing mine. So it's just beautiful to see how like big our Southern Miss is, but at the same time it's like the community is really close.
Yeah, that is something I really am appreciative of SMAC, is that they'll work with also other student organizations. So the event we had today, all those organizations were out there talking about who they are, who they represent. So I think that was really great, and a great way for students to see where they could find a community for themselves.
Yeah, it was like today's event was truly amazing, because when I go to different like international event, mostly I see is international student. But I think that today's event, like, I saw a lot of like domestic students just being there. It was just amazing. Like they could learn more about other country. That's amazing. So how, like, do you have plan to do anything as a vice president regarding that? I know you talk a little bit about how you want people to realize they can join different organizations. Like, how do you plan to actually do that?
So my plan is to talk with the presidents and exec boards of these different organizations and do maybe collaborative general meetings or collaborative events that SGA can show up and show out at. Like me, for example, I am going to be the treasurer of VSA next year, but all of the exec board really plans social events together. So just different ways that we can get VSA there and for students to come and see us. So I think the biggest way to do that is collaborating with students to see like what events we can hold, if we can show up to their general meetings, and if they can show up to ours. Senate has a public forum section where anybody outside of SGA can come and speak, talk about suggestions they have for bettering the university, and not a lot of students know that. So so something like that is what will really help build the collaborations.
That's amazing. So through that form, like, I can go and like share my complaints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's just a way for students to be heard, and also for students to see what the Senate does for them.
Okay, so if anybody listening out there, like if you have any complaint regarding anything, please use this like platform we have. Like they are the student like who gonna hear your like complaint first, because they also go through this issue. There's a lot of issue on campus, like. So definitely like sharing your issue with the right people who you voted to represent, Like, let them do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially because, we have our Senate is very diverse and a bunch of different demographics of people. So not everybody explains or experiences the same problems, or they don't see the same problems that another student might see. I know for me, because I live, locally, I don't really see the complaint of, like, last year, our current president, Damla Akulola, he made a legislation to keep the fresh open during spring break because not a lot of students have the ability to go home during spring break. So he really pushed that out there and really wanted international students to be heard and accommodated to as well.
Yeah, true. That's amazing, like, what you guys doing. Thank you for all your hard work. Now, what does your day-to-day schedule look like now, I think you haven't started your vice president, but what might it look like?
As of right now, we're in that weird period where the current officers are still in office. They still hold the position, but they are essentially mentoring us through what we need to do. So for me, it's a little bit easier since Damala was the vice president. He gets promoted to president. He's still here to at least mentor me through all the hard times and any difficulties I may have. So as of right now, we're just going through that transition period, talking about what the past administration does or didn't get to accomplish and what they want to see accomplished, hopefully this year through this year's administration.
Amazing. So next is president for you?
That's what we're hoping for.
That's amazing. So how is your college going outside of SGA?
Oh, I really think that Southern Miss was the place for me. My uncle is an alumni, and so is my cousin. And also my cousin currently goes here. He's a freshman. So Southern Miss is a place that truly feels like home to me. It's not too big of a school to where I'm like, man, this is kind of intimidating, but it's also like, it's just so diverse, and I really do love it. Being able to study what I love, I've been passionate about for so long. So
that's amazing. Yeah, like Southern is so small. Like, you're gonna see same face like every single day. You know a lot of people just walking around the campus, and it's amazing. The Southern Miss has actually been a great place for myself too. What are you studying?
I'm studying forensic science with an emphasis in criminal justice.
It's amazing. Like you told, you're really passionate about it. Like, what's your plan with it?
I really hope to go into crime scene investigation. Even though Southern Miss does have a crime scene investigations major here, I think forensic science overall is just a really broad and general major. That way, in the future, if crime scene investigation doesn't work out, I could go into drug analysis or any like lab work. But forensic science has always been something I've really, really wanted to do, especially going into college.
What are you studying forensic science?
So you kind of study like... There's a lot that goes into it because it's a lot of different disciplines. So we study like firearms identification. I'm currently in fingerprint analysis, which people would not think was a singular class, but there's a lot that goes into fingerprint analysis. We study like the stages of decomposition to look for in a body. So just a lot of stuff to help people like look into how to basically look at a crime scene and how to solve it to the best of their abilities.
Interesting, because right now I work under like Rural Digital Forensic Initiative, where we like create a module for like law enforcement to learn about digital forensic. So like we started creating content for them, and like I'm getting interested. I feel like by the end like, I'm gonna learn a lot, but just understanding, like, I learned something that just so you delete something off your phone or device, it's not actually deleted, like it's still out there. So those small things is actually making me interest, like going into your major.
A lot of people, I hear a lot that people will be like a chemistry major with a forensics minor, and they'll say that they really do enjoy learning about the forensic side of all of it. So I'm really glad that because where I'm from, forensic science wasn't like a big talk about like, nobody really knew that forensic science was a thing where I was from. So a lot of people from my high school was like, oh, what are you studying? And I was like, forensic science. And they were like, what is that? So,
like when I came here, I had no idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is like, so you were interested way before, like since you're young.
Oh, I was probably 9 years old.
Wow.
When I was like, yes, this is what I want to do with my life.
And what made you do that?
My dad, actually, he watched a lot of shows. So shows like Criminal Minds that have been around for a while. Forensic Files. Those are the shows that initially got me interested. Me and my dad used to watch Hawaii Five-0. It's about a SWAT team based out in Hawaii. And I was like, oh my God, this looks so cool. I'm going to be on the SWAT team. And then I realized that that is a lot of work physically. And so when I started watching Criminal Minds when I was a little bit older, probably around 11, I realized that forensic science was the science behind solving crimes. And science has always been like one of my favorite subjects in school. So I was like, oh my God, this is perfect.
That's like nice, because I've been seeing some pattern over here. Like a lot of people are fascinated by watching TV and movie. Like we had other guests here who were like watching TV shows and like they want to act because they saw somebody acting. So somebody like doing physics thing, they got fascinated. So it's really amazing how like our generation, people are getting inspired by what they see, which is a really good thing.
A big thing I saw was Dexter. A lot of people were like, oh my God, so you're like Dexter. And I was like, not really.
But getting there.
Yeah.
So like how does the market work, like as a work for your major?
So there's a lot. There's a lot of levels to it. You could work at the state level, or you could work at the federal level, obviously with the FBI. So a lot of like counties also have, believe it or not, no matter how big or small the town is, they're more than likely going to have a crime scene investigations unit. So just stuff like that, working at either a state or federal level, but it wasn't so competitive when I was younger, but now that more people are starting to get interested because of shows like Criminal Minds, the job market's a little tough.
Wow, yeah. I think it's like every single major is getting that struggle right now. Like computer science is completely packed. There's so many students.
I've heard.
Like myself, I'm into filmmaking. It's super tough. People are going to college for all of this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick little break and we'll be back with more fun conversation.
What if we cleared it out? What if we stopped to breathe? Would it be something good? Would it be something good?
Welcome back. You're listening to College or Whatever. That song was Late Flowers by Hannah Smith Phillips and Srijal Thapa. Shout out to them. They're wonderful. Their movie this is like official song from their short film, which is coming out very soon. They both go to Southern Miss. So this just came out, so go stream out on all the platform. So welcome back, Taylor. Welcome to the show again. So I know you're involved in theater a lot, like you were, at least. What inspired you?
Oh, honestly, it was like kind of not like a happy accident. I had a friend going into high school. She was like, hey, I'm trying out for the high school theater. And I was like, oh, that sounds very interesting. But it was a weird time because this was right after COVID. So it was like my freshman year where we were doing hybrid. So like 1 week we would go in person to classes, 1 week we would be online. And so she was like, hey, like, they're doing auditions for high school theater. And I was like, that sounds interesting. I'll definitely try it. And so the first week was acting auditions, and I had no acting experience whatsoever. And I was like, you know what? I should just do it. And then I chickened out because I was like, oh, I should not. But thankfully they had technical auditions. So you could do like costuming or set design or lighting and stuff like that. So that was the audition I went to. Talked to the director, let him know me a little bit and how I had experience in that type of stuff. And from there I found something I loved doing.
So what part of theater are you involved in?
My first year, I was costume designer, or not costume designer. I was making the costumes. So that was my sophomore year. I was just getting into it. My second year, I was still a part of the costume shop, but I started getting more into the leadership roles. I was costume technical director, so I was over like everybody who made the stuff like that. And I also had just like dabbled in a little bit of acting, and that was just kind of my way of getting over my stage fright. And then my senior year, I was mostly acting, but I still did costumes on the side.
That's amazing. How was the acting? Because I tried acting for theater. It wasn't for me. I took like one semester class over here. I didn't do bad per se,
Yeah.
but it was not for me. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to stay behind the scene. I'm more into production.
Yeah, it's definitely intimidating, especially live theater. Oh my god, that is so like when I stepped on that stage for the first time, it was very intimidating, but I think what helped me get over it was separating myself from the character in a way. The best method of doing that is just like you kind of create a persona of this person. So, a lot of the shows I was in, you get your script and you kind of go into it and you're kind of like, okay, how would this person walk? How would this person carry themselves? How would this person, would they talk with their hands? Would they be a very stern, sit still type person? Are they very fidgety? So helping me separate the character from myself was what helped me, I feel, get more into character.
Yes, that's what they taught me in my class too. Like you have to create a backstory. Like your character might talk about just the present stuff. Like they might be struggling in college, for example. Then now you're gonna create the backstory of that character. Like where were they born? Like who are they with? Do they have family? Do they have friends? Like it's all of those small things. It was fun though. Like when I did acting, but I was like no, because like I feel like theater acting is a lot different than the film acting. Because in theater you have to project your voice. You need to be more expressive because it's like live. People are watching. Like how do you tackle those?
So I had a lot of people who were more into acting. They would teach me a lot about, speak from your diaphragm more than like screaming from your throat. So that really helped. And a lot of what people think is like, oh my God, I have to stick to the script. If I mess up, like that's it. But if you have a mess up on stage, the reality of it all is that the audience doesn't know what was supposed to happen. So if you mess up, you got to roll with it.
So as a costume designer, what's your favorite thing you have done?
Definitely taking the inspo of like if we did a musical that was like had preset costumes, was taking that as inspiration and making a costume around the person playing the character, not the character itself. I had a lot of very diverse people, very different body types, skin colors, all that type of stuff, and we took all that into account into costume making. So it wasn't just like, okay, you have to make the costume exactly like this. You have to kind of shape it to the person who was playing that character. That way they were also comfortable playing that character.
Just like a both way, like collaboration, like you said before. So that goes into that. What's your favorite play you have done?
Oh, I have a lot. I think The Wizard of Oz holds a special place in my heart because that was my last show, my senior year of high school. But my high school was also one of the first schools to do the actual Broadway production of Frozen. So there was an opportunity that Frozen had released the rights to do the actual full show, not just Frozen Junior. And one school from every state got to do it, and my school was picked for Mississippi.
That's amazing.
I made the costume for that. And I think the reason why that holds a lot in my heart was also the teamwork that went into making the costume, because essentially we were going to be featured on Disney.
Wow.
So that was a very big thing, but I worked very closely with one of my very good friends to create the costumes, and it was overall like a very like kind of out of body experience. Like we could not believe, we were like, wow, we are actually, doing the Disney Frozen Broadway. It was so surreal. And I've also done a lot of community theater. So some people would write their own shows, original shows, and we got to perform those as well. So it was all like really fun. My first one was called Welcome to Wonderland. It was an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, so those are a couple of my favorites.
You have done a lot.
Yes.
Like, do you plan to still continue?
I really want to get back into doing community theater just because it's not a whole lot of pressure. High school was competition-based, so we also felt like, we had to do it. We had to be the best. But community theater is very relaxed. You can kind of do essentially whatever you want with the characters and how you want to play it out, rather than like, okay, you should play the characters this way because that will catch the audience attention the best. But I hope to do more community theater in the future.
I see what you mean by that. Like, you want to have fun by doing the theater rather than, you need to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what is with me with filmmaking too. Like I'm taking video arts music because that's my passion. That's what I did. Like I created my YouTube channel when I was really young. I was just passionate about just recording video and just editing them. I used to create like whatever I could. Like there's so many videos that's not out there on the internet that just I used to make for fun.
Yeah.
But right now, like I'm kind of like my work is completely now taken over by doing video. Now sometimes I get scared that I might like lose my passion. You know, doing so much of video. Now before I used to do video for fun during weekend. Now I take break from video during weekend. So it's like completely opposite. But hope it works out somehow.
Definitely balancing all that out. You know, if you do too much at once, it's definitely going to burn you out. So it's good to take breaks.
Yeah, that's why like one of the reason I have this podcast is definitely for that particular reason. Because I feel like last semester I was completely just doing work.
Yeah.
Like just doing video for work. And when I used to go back, I'm like, I'm done. I don't even want to see my laptop. Like close that thing down. And I was like, I need to do something that like is not for work. That's just my passion. And like the podcast was like, because I planned this podcast like way before. Like last summer was when I was like planning out everything. I made my Instagram back then. I was like ready to go. But it's like, but last semester, a lot of things were going on. I was like, I'm gonna start next semester, and this semester I finally did it.
Yeah.
So it actually has been a lot helpful. Like, 'cause this is my passion project. It's not like I'm doing work for somebody else.
Yeah. And it's great. You get to get a lot of different people on here, get to hear their stories. Everybody's story is so different. It's really great that you have this.
Yeah, it's like I met you, like it's amazing. Now, like I'm gonna have more guests coming up in future, so I'm just excited to just bring more people. There's like so many people in Southern Miss, like a lot of people don't know about their story, and they're just like amazing. So I'd love to have you guys, like anybody out there who want to talk, come to the show. You can just DM us on our Instagram at college or whatever. So you said you read a book.
I read a lot of books.
A lot of books. When you say a lot of books, like how many books a week?
Right now with school and this whole campaign thing, I haven't been able to read as much as I would like. So I started getting into audiobooks. But when I was in high school, I read probably 3 books a month.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I do love it. It's something that, especially when I have a lot of downtime, it's something that I love to do before bed, just anywhere. I love going to the beach, so it gives me the chance to just relax in the sun and read.
Because I'm trying to get into books, like something I just can't. I'm more like a visual guy. I love to see things like movie, TV shows.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into books. Like for a person like me, what would be your recommendation?
Like types of books?
Like just type of book and how to actually start reading a book.
So a lot of the time people don't want to read physical books because they're like, I'm just staring at words on a page. So especially for somebody like you who probably is like multitasking and, you know, podcasts, I would start with an audiobook. That's what I've been getting into recently because I realized that, you know, I still want to read and I do like want to do all these things, but I'm so busy that I'll like maybe an audiobook's the best way to go about it. So you can just listen to it whenever you want. You can listen to it doing homework, doing laundry. But I think like something about books is that a lot of the time, a lot of people see that they have like the same plot or the same like cliches. And so something that really got me back into reading was reading like mystery novels and thrillers. One of my favorite authors, his name is Alex Michaelides. He wrote The Silent Patient, and if you're going to get back into reading, I would recommend that one because the ending had me so shocked, but it was a really good book. I could not put it down.
What's about?
So it's about this lady. She was accused of killing her husband, and then she didn't talk for 5 years. She was completely silent. And so this detective goes in there. She's in a institution, and he kind of watches her, kind of see like what she has to do to try and prove her guilty. But the ending, you're gonna have to read it to find out what he does.
No spoiler. What's your other favorite book? Some of the favorite book.
I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. She wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It was about a Hollywood star who everybody scrutinized because they were like, oh, she has 7 husbands. But you kind of learn the backstory of how she rose to fame in Hollywood. And she was a woman who had to do what she could to get into that power and did whatever it took to get famous. So that was a really beautiful story. I also really liked Malibu Rising. They kind of take place in the same universe, which I thought was really cool. It's about these children of a very famous singer, and they kind of uncover a bunch of secrets about their father who ran out on them to get famous. And then I think one of my other favorite books is called We Were Liars. That's also kind of like a psychology twist type book. And yeah, those are just a couple of my favorites.
Nice. So, how much movie do you watch?
I watch a couple. Sometimes I watch like book adaptation or movie adaptations of books. I think one of my favorite movies of all time though is Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, that's an
That is
amazing
a
movie.
beautiful movie. I have watched it so many times.
Like when you talk about book adaptation movie, something that came up in my mind was Little Woman. I love that movie. Like,
Yeah, that's on my list. I've been meaning to watch that one.
have you read the book?
No.
I have not. But that was like well-made film. And I think other movie like that comes in. But definitely Harry Potter is a big one.
Yeah, my best friend is a big Harry Potter fan. Have you watched The Hunger Games?
I have. I love Hunger Games.
Those are really good. I think that was a good book adaptation or movie adaptation.
I
from
have
the
not
books.
read the book. Have you read the book?
Oh, I read them all the time in middle school.
And have you watched the movie too, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you compare the movie and the book?
Definitely, when you read the book, you imagine the characters a lot differently from the actors, which I think that Jennifer Lawrence played a wonderful Katniss. She did so well. Out of all of them, though, I think the second movie is my favorite, but the first book is my favorite.
I don't really remember. It's been a while. I watched it, but I believe they have a new one coming soon.
Yes, they do.
That would be amazing.
Yes, I am very excited for that one. I actually just read the book for that one too.
They have they have new books coming currently.
Yeah, so after the Hunger Games series, she came out with the prequel, which was about the president of the Hunger Games and how his games went, and kind of set the background for that. And then after that book and the movie came out, she came out with Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I read that in probably a week. It was that good to me. But yeah, I'm very excited for the movie to come out. I've seen all the actors for it. I think they're going to play the characters very, very well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the information for the Sunrise on the Reaping. They are making a movie adaptation, which is planned for November 2026. It came out in 2025, so that's kind of quick for a movie adaptation.
Yeah, it really is. I was actually shocked to see like they got the characters and stuff, and like they were already like filming and stuff, and I was like, wow.
I feel like they pretty much like plan out alongside writing the book. Like, hey, I'm writing
probably.
a book.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hiring
Yeah.
actors.
I do wonder if she's going to come out with more books, though, because those are all kind of the main characters. But I know a lot of the fans were like, I want to see this character's games, this character. So I hope to see more Hunger Games books and movies in the future.
Do you think it's going to be like too much?
Okay, so I think the Hunger Games franchise is one of those really unique series because it kind of like you said, they kind of write it and then come out with the movie, so they're kind of like coincide with each other. But it's one of those that like it's never the same. No two movies to me are the same. Obviously, the first one set like the plot, the tone. But I think that like you could watch them in any order, essentially, and it would feel like watching different movies because they're all just so unique, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because like something that scared me about whole like entertainment or generally this industry, if you look at Marvel puts out a lot of things. Now it's not popular. Like it's still popular, but it's not the way they were popular just before the COVID. People got bored because there was just too much content coming out. So I'm really scared when like anything, like I don't know much about book, but at least in the film industry, when they start making a lot of sequel out of thing,
Yeah.
it starts like, you need to calm down.
Yeah. With the Marvel series, it kind of lost, I feel like, at least from people I heard, I don't watch the Marvel series like that. It kind of lost the hype when like all the original Avengers got killed off. But are you excited for Doomsday?
I'm not.
Really? Why?
Here's why. I feel like they're trying to bring back the character for the sake of commercialization rather than telling the story. Because the way they plot after the Endgame series, where like we have a new big villain, but he had his own controversy in his personal life, and he was kicked out of whole universe because he can't play the character now. So now they're trying to build this whole new big villain through after 5-6 years. Like we still don't know what's going on in the Marvel. It's such a crazy time frame, and now I'm excited to see the character come back because they have a special place in like people who love Marvel. But it's like, does it make sense to bring them back in a story like universe wise?
Yeah.
No. So
I've heard a couple of Marvel fans, my boyfriend included, he's very, very excited for Doomsday to come out. He was like, we are buying tickets as fast as we can. And I wasn't never really into Marvel like that. Like I watched Black Panther. I think I watched a lot of the newer movies. I never watched like Captain America and stuff like that, but we watched Endgame together. And I just think that the most confusing thing about it is the timeline. Like, I think we watched, I don't know the order of it. It was like Endgame and then like the movie that was supposed to take place after that.
Spider-Man.
No. Like the, what was it? It's supposed to take place like the setting's like 5 years later. They go back and get all the Infinity Stones again.
That was the Endgame.
That was Endgame?
Yeah, Infinity War was before
Infinity
that.
War, yeah.
Yes.
I did not know that there was supposed to be like a 5-year gap between those two. So I was watching it and I was like, wait a second, what?
The first time I was a Marvel movie was because they came to like Doctor Strange. Like it's take place in Nepal, so I was like, "Oh, my country, let me go!" Like, I had no idea about Marvel at all, like nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, they came to Nepal. They are showing Nepal and everything, and let me see, it's a Hollywood movie." So I went. It was like 2015, I believe. This is my first time actually watching Marvel with no idea. I had fun. It was a good movie. Then I believe it was 2019 when Infinity War came. That's when I started watching it. I watched every single movie prior to that, like 20, 25 movies. And I was like big fan. And then was Infinity War, Endgame. Now I feel like they started doing TV series.
Yeah,
Too much.
I remember during COVID they did like WandaVision and then they did Loki. Because my cousin used to watch it all at our house. And I was like, what's happening? Because I knew of Marvel, obviously. But I was like, you know, why are we here?
Like they just wanted to give more to fan, but it was just too much.
Yeah. Like the Fast and Furious franchise, that's got like what, 11 movies now?
I've lost count.
Yeah, I think I stopped watching after the 5th one.
But I love Fast and Furious because I don't remember any story. It's just too much. But I'm like just car racing. Like, yay. But like with Marvel, you need to watch all movie to actually understand. Like Hunger Game, like you watch different movie, you're fine with it. But Marvel, they just made everything connected so much that now people are lost. Like too much.
I heard that a lot. Like, I mean, I can't think of it. Well, like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. That's kind of like Bucky's backstory. So if you didn't watch that, you had no idea what was gonna go on. Like
Next Avenger.
Yeah.
So it's like all connected. Something that I really miss is from the DC universe is the Batman. Like that came out in 2022, I believe, and they're trying to make second movie. Like it's in production for past 5 years. I believe it's supposed to come out 2027.
Really?
I'm like, it's a long time.
It is a long time.
It's like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just want that movie to come out. So I just want to go back to the book reading. Like you talk about your favorite book. There's something you're looking forward, like in the book universe. I don't know how it works, but any book that's coming out.
Honestly, I don't like keep up with like authors like that. If they announce like, hey, this book might be coming out, I'm like, okay, I might go look for those in stores. But it's never been a thing of like, I have to go get this book. my favorite thing to do is to go into like bookstores or like the stores with the book sections, and I'll read the description of the books, and then I'll put it on a list later for me to read. So I don't actually like seek out certain books. But I think that keeps the fun of it all, is just discovering new books just based on a description of it.
This might be a stupid question, but you see like New York best-selling on every single book. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I think every book I've read has had like New York's #1 bestseller, and I'm like, are we sure? But a lot of authors do that, obviously, to
The market.
credibility and stuff like that. But oftentimes, I like to look for books that aren't as popular. I don't know if you're all over TikTok or whatever, but there's Book Talk, and they talk about like super popular romance books and stuff like that. And I try to avoid books like that, like books that are super over talked about, because I feel like they're overhyped. So I try to go for like authors I've never heard of, or authors with like maybe a book or two out. There's some authors that probably have like 13 books, and I'm like, that's a little too much for me. So yeah, I think like authors that like maybe people haven't heard of before, those are really like the gems of the books that I like. Yes, I do mention that my favorite books are very popular now, but there's a couple books on my list that are like, no one's ever heard of them, and I'm really excited to read them.
It's amazing. So do you read on like Wattpad? I think that's the website.
I did back in like middle school.
Because like during COVID, I tried to write a novel. I don't know what was in my mind back then, but I created like whole this universe. It's a fictional sci-fi movie with this superpower human being, which take place in like high school. Super cool. Like there's a few chapters in Wattpad I wrote, but I never finished it. But I was like, I think that's something that I see. But like, how much people use Wattpad nowadays? Yeah,
it's like, it was a lot popular, obviously, during COVID when everybody was just stuck at their house. They were like, I'm going to get on Wattpad and see what they got today. And, like, anybody can write on Wattpad, honestly. It's
like
just
me, who have no experience.
It's just a matter of, like, building that story, building the characters up. So that's something that is very difficult to do on Wattpad.
True. I agree. So we are at the end of this. So before we end, what do you like to say to students as, like, newly appointed vice president and president of Senate? What do you like to tell our students?
Get involved, join, go to a lot of interest meetings. You may never know where you're going to find your home. I had no idea that I would think that SGA was the place for me, but we have so many organizations on campus and just so many places to build a connection and build community. So go out there. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Go and talk to people. You'll never know what you find, so get involved as best as you can.
Yeah, go. There's all organization. Thank you for coming to the show. That was amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So out there, people, if you want to listen this podcast again, or you skip the beginning half of this show, then go follow us on our Instagram at college or whatever. The full podcast is available on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just think about podcasts, and you can find us on anywhere. It's on YouTube if you want to watch the video too. More fun content is coming up on our social media. We are also on TikTok at Rochak Basnet, ROCHAKBASNET. Shout out to Progress Adhikari for running the boat or running the social media for me. And thank you everyone for listening. Hope you had a great spring break. Hope you are having a great semester. We'll be back with more guests next week. Thank you.